Yoshi's Crafted World. To me, this is just the most Nintendo game that Nintendo makes. It's like Miyamoto walks in the room, he's got his box of recyclables and says, alright guys, make the next Yoshi game. And everyone goes, he's done it again. It's hard to imagine that anyone making this game just walks away from it without a big smile on their face after a long day of work. Everything is just so cute and cuddly and crafted. The 3 C's, that's the key to game development, the 3 C's. You can even imagine the board meetings to this game. They're all sitting around at their tables, and old George is scratching his beard and says, zombie guy. What about zombie guy? And everyone's like, yes, George, zombie guy.
They are called zombie guys for obvious reasons.
But wait, George, thick zombie guy. Pop the champagne, everyone's cheering. Wow, I have a really unrealistic expectation of what game development's like. Anyway, today we are not here to talk about board meetings as much as that might surprise you. We are here to talk about Yoshi's Crafted World and just everything we know about it so far, because we've had lots of directs. It actually got announced all the way back in 2017, and there's so many details since then that I think we need a catch up. So whether you're here just to know a little bit more about Yoshi, or you're just already on that hype train and want me to sell your first class ticket, you are in the right place. Let's start with the release date. So we know now that it's coming on March 29th. And I actually want to stop there for a second, as weird as this might sound, and just say, before we go any further, I should mention that there may be some stuff that's a little bit spoilerific in this. I'll try to leave it to the end, but if you're sensitive on spoilers, just be aware that, I don't know, there may be some stuff that just gets sprinkled spoilerific over you. Alright, back to the game. Now you might remember that when we first heard about this game, as I mentioned, was back in 2017, and it was announced to be coming out in 2018. The weird thing is, it's a game that's actually obviously been pushed to 2019, but it's taken a big change since then. It's not weird at all, it's kind of expected. In the original footage that we saw, they showed them playing the Yoshi level start to finish, beautifully crafted 2.5D levels, and then the camera flipped onto the other side, the flip side as they call it, and you got to see the back of the levels. There was one big problem, one big flaw that I saw with this, and obviously Nintendo did as well, and that is that you were playing the same level. As interesting as it was playing the back side of the level, I don't know why I paused there. It was still the exact same level, the same flowers, the same red coins, the same coins in general. Everything was the same, which means you were playing the same level twice. And then it became even worse when they hid stuff behind you seeing it on the opposite side, meaning that you almost had to play it 3 times to even get anything. So how did they fix this? Well, you notice they have the front side here that says you just play the course, and then it has the flip side which says find the Poochie Pups. So in this level in particular, you had to find 3 Poochie Pups when playing the flip side and try do it in a certain amount of time. And additionally, you got to play from the end of the level for the start instead of always starting from that one point. Now this was a million times better. Watching the treehouse footage, I could instantly tell that I would want to do the flip side when I got to see not just how interesting it was, but an actual different challenge for me to go out and do. And that's a lot of what Yoshi games have been about. Just running from one side of the level to the other isn't that exciting, but collecting everything along the way and trying to find all those secrets, that is the secret formula that makes me want to slurp that Yoshi potion. Now I do have more to say about that world map we caught a glimpse of there, but I want to move on to the 2-player because that's spoilerific stuff that we're leaving to the end. The 2-player mode is kind of the next big interesting thing here. Nintendo have obviously been stumbling a little bit with their 2-player mode. I mean, you should remember, it's just today that it came out, New Super Mario Bros. U. Now with the multiplayer mode with that, you had 4 players, but 2 always have to be the baby characters or the easy characters. And that's a bit of a stumble. Now, they really managed to fix that with this. And before we go any further, I need my props. So how do they fix this? Well, first of all, they let you just play normally. So play as you'd expect, you both get a Yoshi each, you run around the level, you do your thing. The second way they actually fix this is allowed you to kind of partner up. So this is Nintendo's kind of easier mode that allow you to do, there is a separate easier mode, I'll touch on that in a second, but this is the easy mode where they basically allow one Yoshi to be the player and one to be the second player. So basically the player on the back will get to shoot the eggs while the player on the front just gets to do the moving. And the best thing about that is that it just allows, if you want to do an easier mode, you can, but if you don't, then just play your own merry characters along your way. Also with the 2-player characters, there's a couple benefits here. So when you're on the other's back, you have unlimited eggs, as well as like a powered up ground pound. So it just kind of has this 2-player mode that just turn it on whenever you like. You don't have to always add it on. I like that. The only thing is, there seems to be a lot of like accidental back jumping happening in the, I don't need these props anymore. There seems to be a lot of accidental back jumping happening. In other words, like they're always jumping on each other's back by accident, because obviously the levels, there's a lot of platforming, so a lot of tight areas where you just got to be on the same spot at the same time. So I don't know if that'll get annoying. It'd be cool if you could just turn off the fact that you could jump on each other's back. Now the eggs also took a little bit of a change here, although, you know, I don't know if this is a recent change. I'm no Yoshi expert, but basically what you can do with the eggs now is you could always ricochet eggs, and as they ricochet, they change colors. Although you could also just get different color eggs sometimes. But now the different color eggs actually do something. So if you hit an enemy with a red egg, it'll give you 3 health points back. I think it's 3. And then if you hit it with a yellow egg, you'll get 3 coins. And if you hit it with a blue egg, you'll get 3 eggs back. This brings in a little bit of strategy. Getting 100 coins at the end of a level can now be a strategic way of just bouncing it off a wall in the right direction. And same with the health points. If you can get a double bounce, then you're gonna get some health points back. And it gives you a way to get that stuff without being like, I have to go explore everywhere in this world to try find something that will give me health points. Also, the coins seem to have some way to spend them, although, again, that's something we're going to get into a little bit later. Oh, and the coin combo also plays into this. Now, what's the coin combo, you ask? Well, what you can actually do is the objects in the background, if you throw your egg at the objects in the background, it knocks it over or knocks it into the air. And then you can actually hit it again, and every time you hit it, it's called a combo, and you just get some extra coins for doing this combo. Again, playing into that, building up that coin count. Now, apart from that type of stuff, it's still the same old Yoshi. It's still going to be flutter jumping, ground pounding, collecting flowers throughout the level, and trying to get those optional challenges to beat that end of the level challenge there. Also, if you remember Mellow mode, that does make a return in this one, so you'll be able to do the infinite flight throughout a level if you want to do that easy mode. All right, that kind of does it for the non-spoilerish stuff. So we're going to be going through stuff like costumes and the world map and a few other things now that, in case you don't want to see them, I mean, it's only been shown in treehouse footage anyway, but just in case you don't want to know what they look like, I'm giving you a chance to duck out now without feeling bad. You can feel a little bit bad though. Now, I want to start with the costumes, which aren't what you're expecting, maybe. You remember that the last game you could change your costume into just different color Yoshis with different patterns. Now, you still might be able to do that. It's not clear. They do show that you can change your Yoshi, although they haven't showed the different costumes in that mode yet. What I mean by these costume changes is there is actually little costumes you can wear. In other words, one of the Yoshis has a cupcake on here. And there's a few other ones that we've seen. So we've seen a car, a present, and a fish costume, which seem to be kind of adjacent to whatever worlds there are in there. So maybe it's one per world, maybe there's a whole bunch of different ones, we don't know yet, but that's what we've seen. What do they do? Well, they actually add defense to you. So you'll be able to take, with the cupcake here, 4 hits before you actually start losing health. I guess that's another way to add another easier mode, or if you just like to look like a cupcake, you have that option. Why not? We also know that the amiibos make a return, but we're not 100% sure whether they're just going to be the colors of the Yoshi, or whether they're going to be something else in the game, or maybe they even be costumes. The other thing we see from this menu is the scrapbook, which the fact that we're missing like amiibo functionality and we don't even know what the scrapbook is yet, makes me think there's going to be one more trailer or one more direct about this game before release, just to let us know all these features they haven't really touched on. Now, all these things that I've just covered kind of play into the 2 things we see here in the world map. So on the right side, we actually see a slot machine, which is, out of the locations we've seen, it seems to be at the front of each one on the right-hand side. And I'm guessing, again, this is for all the stuff we just went over. And then on the left side, it seems to be something to do with the location that we're in. So you'll notice that the ninja place has like a ninja star on it or something. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just guessing. And then you had the cupcake one, which I'm guessing had a cupcake on it. I don't know. I really should put this stuff in front of me before I started talking about it, but you have it on screen, so you get the idea. Now, as for what the robot does on the left-hand side, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. Sometimes he has a little marker above his head to say that, hey, I have like a quest type of thing for you. So I don't know whether he'll be like objectives that maybe you can complete through him, or maybe something different. Maybe he's where you get your costume. Again, your guess is as good as mine. If you have seen the latest trailer, you would know that Bowser Jr. and Kamek spread the, what are they, the seeds of happiness, the crystals of happiness, I don't know what they are, across the universe or the land or whatever you want to call it, for you to go back and collect. And we got to see half of the map there. The reason I say half the map is because on the Nintendo Direct footage, I think we got to see the rest of this map. Actually, you know what? I know we got to see the rest of this map. Now, I think what's interesting here is that we pay attention to how many places we saw at the starting intro and how many places we've seen here. And then we assume that each one maybe has 3 levels, because the ones that we've seen have both had 3 levels. And then each of those 3 levels have a flip side to them. That's actually quite a lot of levels for this Yoshi game. And if you had seen the treehouse footage, you'd know that there is also a spooky place that we've seen, which isn't actually shown here, although it might be at the top right-hand corner. Which just makes it even more interesting because I don't know how much is up there, but we know, or I think we have a pretty good guess here, that there's going to be some sort of space area that we go to. We're going to go to outer space. Because if we look at the artwork that's shown here, we actually see Yoshi in outer space. So there must be some sort of end area that has space, which Nintendo likes to seem to do lately since Smash Brothers. The last thing I want to go over here, because I'm sure you guys are just chock full of information at the moment, is the cover of the Shy Guys we've seen. So this is just a bit of fun because some of them are really, really cool. Obviously, we have the knife guy that I keep pushing. He's hilarious.
He's got
you.
a knife.
It's a little tinfoil knife too.
And a loot guy. I'm calling him the loot guy because he basically runs along with a sack and leaves a bunch of coins behind him. Which if you guys have played Diablo, you know that's exactly what the loot goblin does. Also, if you want to get a little bit spooky here, you'll see the zombie guy. And my personal favorite, because why Nintendo, but also why not, the thick zombie guy. All right, thanks again guys for coming along, talking about Yoshi. This was a lot of fun. Although I do have a question for you. Why don't you let me know what you're thinking or feeling about this latest Yoshi game? I know the developers have just been like, pardon the pun here, but walking on eggshells with the gameplay lately because a lot of people have just been or yeah about it. So I don't know what level you sit on, but why don't you let me know below? And remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. Oh yeah, guys, before we go, I forgot to mention them while we got the props here. Poochie, sorry Pooch. We've got the 3 pops. If you're playing in multiplayer and you have your Poochie, you can write on obviously Poochie's back again. You write on Poochie, and then you have your Yoshi, and then you have another Yoshi, which is just the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my life, and I need this in every Yoshi game from now on. All right, bye-bye.